We're joined here now by Byron Johns, the leader of the NAAC Parent Council and one of the leaders of the Black and Brown Coalition, which really is a coalition of many, many people across this county and many groups. One of the main asks of the coalition is that all students, particularly Black and Brown students, have access to effective teaching and diverse teachers. And these teachers must be supported to succeed. Byron, what are some of the recommendations from the coalition on how to address this, and why do you believe this is so critical for our students' success?
Good. Well, thank you, Dr. Smith and Dr. McKnight, for having me here. Let me start with the second part of your question, which is, why do I think it's so important? First off, being a part of this budget, this budget really reflects the priority that we as a community have on equity and the policy around that. So this is a critically important component. Montgomery County Public Schools has over 50% of its students are Black and Brown. And while as a district and wide, we're very high performing across the nation, it hasn't served all of our students as well as it could. And so part of our need, and this was really revealed in the equity resource analysis that was done earlier this year, is that we need to find ways to not only how much we spend, but how well we spend those resources. And that is going to be kind of why this is so critical. In terms of the particular asks that the coalition presented earlier, really focuses around teachers and school leaders, but particularly to your question around the teachers, there really were four components that we looked at. One is to remove any systemic barriers that disadvantage Black and Brown students. We are asking and looking for the strategic hiring, recruiting and hiring of diverse and highly skilled teachers for the schools across the county. Secondly, was really to create incentives to both recruit and retain those highly effective teachers in the schools that have the greatest needs. And that's when one of the points that was made, there is a disparity that is we're looking to remove with this budget. And
Absolutely.
third thing was around the equitable assignment of the most effective teachers, both across schools, but also within a school.
That's an important distinction.
Yes.
Yes.
As you and that study really made apparent for us, that was not something that I think was previously understood to that level. And then lastly, is really to increase the collaboration and professional development and the support for teachers in the highest need schools so that they continue to bring their skills and talents to where the students have the greatest need for those most talented staff we have. There is a parallel, while we talk about the teachers, I just want to emphasize, I think it is equally important that we talk about the school leaders.
Right.
And there's a parallel ask around those areas. So I think, those really are the critical components that we look for this budget and expect that we will see as a school district will continue to succeed and grow, and it will be critically important as we continue to be an increasingly diverse school district.
Absolutely, and when we think about making sure that we are keeping our eye on the target, which is high levels of learning for every single student, one of the things I'd like to say to you is that I really appreciate the work you do around the NAAC Parent Council and getting parents engaged in our schools to talk about these topics and how we assign students to different classes and who gets into what, and how we engage with our teachers and support professionals, and how we place principals across the system. All those are critically important, and I appreciate that, as well as the conversation, the ongoing conversation we're having around the innovative calendar schools and the pilot we want to develop in the coming year for community schools as we work with the Kerwin money. All of those things make a difference for the student experience, and you and the coalition have been an integral part of that conversation.
Well, we thank you and appreciate the leadership that you and Dr. McKnight and others here are bringing to this. This has been a decades-old conversation around equity. I feel hopeful that we have the elements now for really meaningful progress to be made through this budget and subsequent budgets going
Absolutely.
forward.
Thank you so much for being here.